Okay, who's up next? Okay. Senator Mr. Montague, please.
Hello.
Mr. Montague. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Well, actually, I'm a little sick.
Can I stop you there for 1 second?
Yes. Wow.
Put this up here.
Thank you so much. That's an amazing picture of me.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the same outfit with my red cloths.
So I interrupted you. How are you?
I've been better. I'm a little sick, but I'll be fine.
Okay. Hopefully you get better. Sucks being sick. I hate it, but it's part of life.
Yeah.
So before we get this interview started, to get this interview started, I'm gonna ask you a little bit about you. So tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Well, my childhood, I was first born in France into a very wealthy family, actually one of the most wealthiest, and my father was a soldier.
That's very, very interesting. I have an uncle that's in the Marines.
It's awesome.
So, yeah, that's really cool.
It's amazing.
So back then, what were you most famous for?
Not to boast or anything, but I created the separation of powers.
That's very interesting.
Thank you.
What was your end goal for that theory? And what did you want the outcome to be?
Well, first I created the separation of powers because the rulers at the time, they were all mainly absolute monarchs, and they're abusing their powers and abusing the people, and so I realized they needed restrictions. So I went against the norm, and I went against the government and the Catholic Church, and I created the separation of powers.
Very, very interesting. So how would that contribute to nowadays government and society and stuff like that?
Well, actually, today, the U.S. government uses it as the three branches of government: the legislative, executive, and judicial.
That's very, very interesting. And go ahead, and this is a kind of off-topic question, but can I get one of your greatest achievements?
Well, we just talked about, my greatest achievements is the separation of powers, which I called the spirit of the laws.
That's very, very interesting. Do you have any other things that you're proud of?
Well, actually, I wrote the Persian letters.
Very, very interesting. Another really off-topic question. Do you have something that makes you stand out, like an interesting fact about you, something that makes you distinct and different?
Well, actually, compared to other people today, I greatly oppose slavery in all forms, and I'm trying to get rid of it.
I respect that decision.
Thank you.
Another kind of off-topic question. If you had to die, do you think it'd be because you'd get sick or old age, or would you go out in a blaze of glory in war or something?
Well, hopefully I won't die of this sickness. Hopefully I won't get a fever, because that's how many people are dying today. I would rather die of just old age and continue my legacy.
Well, yeah, hopefully you don't die of sickness. That'd really suck. And another off-topic second part to that question, if you did die, do you think you'd leave behind a legacy or something for people to use as a foundation in modern days?
Well, hopefully after I die, when it happens, the government continues to use the separation of powers and not repeat history and become an absolute monarch.
Very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's all I have to talk to you about in this interview, and yeah, so I will call you if anything happens.
Okay.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I hope you get better. Drive safely.
Thank you.
No, they don't have cars back then.